Hello and welcome to another update about Ethereum. Here on the Ethereum chart, the price has actually, after the last video yesterday, pushed a little bit higher. That was sort of my, I don't want to say it was my wish, but it was likely for this internal third wave to push higher. That was also the communication I sent out yesterday. The reason is that obviously, if you watched the videos over the last few days, then you know that the thesis was the B wave bottomed. On the 22nd of April, first indication for that was a break above this swing high that formed here on Monday the 21st. That was at 1660 roughly. And then the price pushed higher, and we are now testing Fibonacci support. But the idea yesterday was, and this support area in yesterday's video was lower. But the idea in yesterday's video was that we ideally push a little bit higher. That we would ideally move a little bit higher. And the reason was that the target for that fifth wave to the upside here is quite far away. It just seems so far away, and therefore it was likely, for the price to move a little bit higher to, get just closer, to get closer to that, to that target, because, as I said, it's quite far away. So the fact that the third wave extended is quite positive. Now the bulls just need to hold support, and I think what is interesting for most people is where is support located. Now you see it on the chart. It's the adjusted support area. It is measured based on the entire distance of the current move to the upside. I mean, I could measure only the third wave, but honestly, there is so much. I mean, this is just tiny. Any movements down there are really tiny. So there could be some distortions and everything. So it's best to just take the entire length of it. Then it's the 50% retracement of that impulse that is really relevant. So ideally, it's holding above 1680. However, I can tell you that a decisive break below 1680 would be an indication that something is changing. Now, that doesn't mean we go for another low, but it means that this structure itself will need to be reinterpreted. And the focus then shifts back to that swing low. It's as easy as that, At the moment, we've got two more Fibonacci support levels here to watch, 1715 and 1680. And to be honest, ideally, the price holds above all these previous swing highs. So I'd really like to see the price hold above 1680. So that 1680 area, these previous swing highs are in that area, 1680 to 1690. It's also the 50% retracement. So maybe we're just retesting that breakout point from above. The move up here looks impulsive indeed, but it's, why do I expect another high, or why would I like to see another high? I'd like to see another high because normally when we say, okay, look, we've got potentially a diagonal pattern that's unfolding. I mean, that's what I'm tracking for Bitcoin as well. And it kind of aligns with Bitcoin because on the Bitcoin chart, I'd also like to see one more high. So if that happens, that fifth wave of the larger third wave, should take us to 1925 plus. That's the 138% extension, and that is normally a first ideal target for a third wave. Now we're not there yet, so I'd like to see that. At least that is the current thesis. That's what I'm watching for. Now there are of course other potentials, right? I would have to start to assume that we've already topped in the A wave if we break below support. That's possible because the move up is a three-wave move. So it could just be an ABC structure, right? But even in this scenario, I'd prefer just, one more high. Doesn't necessarily have to happen. Bottom line is, if we top at any point, it breaks support, it's likely a C wave to the upside. So let me show you. That would be, let's say, an alternative scenario where we say, hey, we have an ABC structure to the upside. And we already form a top. Okay, what would that mean? It would mean that the B wave might already be unfolding. So that's why I said the focus will then shift to those previous swing lows. That's where that B wave should find support. We will then provide a support area for that, a lower support when needed. This C wave is definitely long enough to be considered complete. There isn't really too much structure in there to really clearly say that we already have 5 waves up or not. So I would say the minimum requirements for that C wave are fulfilled. because what we normally want to see in a C wave is the 100% extension to be reached. That was reached. It's just that to support the white count, which is the same as on the Bitcoin chart, I'd like to see one more high. So I think what is important to understand is, hey, there's support. We're currently testing support. Pullback is in 3 waves. Let's see if we can get a reaction here today for one more high. Levels are clear. And after the 3rd wave is done, we should get another pullback, ideally, here in the wave 4. Then another move up in wave 5. Then we have 5 waves. That would be further confirmation that really a substantial low has formed here on the 7th of April, 8th of April. At the moment, it's still all very fragile, but we have some very clear levels to watch. So 1925 would be the next upside level to watch, and 1680 is kind of the line in the sand between directly bullish momentum and the formation of a 5-wave move, or the establishment of a 3-wave price top. That's the update on Ethereum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.